Hello everyone, in this occasion I would like to tell you about how to write negative message in business communication with me Kevin Nagaputra, and here we go. Communicating negative information is the fact of life for all business professionals. And depending on the situation, you can have as many as 5 distinct goals when you need to convey negative information. 1. To convey the bad news. 2. To gain acceptance for the bad news. 3. To maintain as much as goodwill as possible with the audience. 4. To maintain a good image for your organization. And 5. It's appropriate to reduce or eliminate the need for future correspondence on the matter. 5 goals are a lot accomplished in one message, but following these 3 steps writing process will help convey a message, as planning and execution are critical with negative message. First step, planning a negative message. When planning negative message, you can avoid effects that your audience doesn't want to hear what you have to say, to minimize the damage to business relationships and to encourage acceptance of your message. The first thing that you have to consider is plan carefully with a clean purpose and your audience needs in mind. The second one, you have to gather the information your audience will need in order to understand and accept your message. And the last one, selecting the right media and channel is also critical. Appropriate organization helps the reader accept your negative news, and one of the most critical core planning position is choosing whether to use direct or indirect approach. On negative message using direct approach, it will open with the bad news and proceeds with a response for the situation or the decision. And also, it will end with a positive statement as maintaining a good relationship with the audience. Stating the bad news at the beginning can have 2 advantages. The first one, it makes a shorter message possible, and the second one, it allows the audience to reach the main idea of the message in the less time. In contrast, negative message using indirect approach often results buffer. A neutral, non-controversial statement that establishes common ground with the reader. Using indirect approach helps the reader prepare for the bad news by outlining the reason for the situation before proceeding the bad news itself. You need to consider a variety of factors when choosing between the direct or the indirect approach. What are those factors? So, you have to ask yourself with the following questions. Will the bad news come as a shock? Does the reader prefer short messages that get right to the point? How important is the news for the reader? Do you need to maintain a close working relationship with the reader? Do you need to get the reader's attention? What is your organization's preferred style? Step 2. Writing a negative message. When you are conveying a negative message to your audience, take a close attention to effectiveness and diplomacy. After all, your audience doesn't want to hear bad news or something they will disagree with. By writing clearly and sensitively, you can take some of the things out of the bad news and help you really accept the decision and move on. If credibility hasn't already been established with an audience, clarify your qualifications. Some message recipients will question your authority or ability. By using respectful language, you preserve the recipient's sense of pride and avoid any feelings of resentment or humiliations. This kind of communication etiquette is always important, but it demands special care with a negative message. All business messages demand attention to ethics and etiquette. Effectively sharing bad news within an organization requires commitment from everyone involved. Employees must commit to sending a negative message when necessarily in timely pleasant, even when it's unpleasant or difficult. Conversely, managers must commit to maintaining open communication channels, truly listening when employees have negative information to share, and not pushing employees who deliver bad news. Otherwise, employees who observe unethical or illegal behavior within their company and are unable to resolve the problems may have no choice with the results to whistleblowing, where they express their concern internally their company through ethics hotlines or externally through social or news media. Moreover, you can ease the sense of disappointment by using positive productive words rather than negative counterproductive ones. Step 3. Completing negative message. The need for careful attention to detail continues as you complete your message. Revise your content to make sure everything is clear, complete, and concise. Even a small faults can be magnified in the reader's minds as they react to negative news. Produce clean, professional documents and proofread to eliminate mistakes. And finally, be sure to deliver message promptly, because withholding or delaying bad news can be unethical and even illegal. Now that you have learned everything about writing negative message, be sure to follow those 3 steps and carefully choose which approach is most suitable for you, whether it be direct or indirect. And in the end, you will be successful in conveying negative message anytime. Thank you very much.